Now, if you're unfamiliar, Phone a Snake is a segment where we let our listeners call in and say crazy stuff on the mic. And a premise, something you must know before you call in, and all of our people get this, so the scandalized Victorian ladies in the comments, relax. You might get bit.
This is hateful and evil.
Shut up.
I keep seeing this take. Excuse me, I'm from Planet Swifty.
Welcome back to Evolution of a Snake. I'm Zach.
And I am Madeline.
And today we are back with another episode of Phone a Snake, asking for your unpopular opinions about the life of a showgirl. Now, if you're unfamiliar, Phone a Snake is a segment where we let our listeners call in and say crazy stuff on the mic. And a premise, something you must know before you call in, and all of our people get this, so the scandalized Victorian ladies in the comments, relax. You might get bit. You put your hand in the snake den, you might get bit. And we do it with love and care, but you might get bit. So that's a warning.
It's never that serious either. It's always supposed to be a joke. It surprises me when people are like, you guys hate your audience. It's like, man, it's called having a bit of a laugh. They don't let us laugh anymore.
We do this live to them on tour.
Yeah, we're not allowed to laugh. No laughter.
No laughing allowed in 2025. Nope. But we are laughing today, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So patreon.com/astrologist, if you ever want to submit to Phone a Snake, that is how we put the bat signal out. You have to be a paying subscriber to call in. And we also have, interestingly, juicily for you, a paywalled, and it's paywalled for a reason, version of Phone a Snake where we talk about unpopular Tavis opinions. And let's just say everyone was cooking.
Let's just say that.
You have to go and get the Patreon to find out. We are cooking like you wouldn't believe over there because of all this showgirl content that we have been receiving.
Going on. There's so much going on the Patreon. It's crazy. You got to be on there. You have to be on there. I'm not even asking. I'm telling.
If you're not, then who are you?
Yeah, what are you doing? Come on.
Come on. All right. Well, why don't we just get into our first question?
Hi, Snakes. Here's my hot take. Taylor needs to bring back the lead single. A lead single first, second week of September, and then that goes #1. And then when the album comes out, another single, that goes #1, because it has been too long, over 10 years, since she has had 2 #1s from the same album. We need to bring that back. Taylor, release a lead single.
You know, there's something to be said about that. It is true that when you release all the songs at once, you really only give them one chance to get a #1. And there could have been more #1s from the Torture Post Department. Down Bad should have gone #1. I don't understand why we couldn't have just, kept it out.
I really like that she said she releases a lead single, it goes #1. She releases another single.
No, it's right.
It goes #1.
She's right.
I supported it 100%.
You're right, and you should say it.
I think
she could have got more #1s with Midnights. Antihero, if she had done that as the pre-release, it would have gone #1. It would have trended on TikTok with the sound. Then she could have put Karma out as a second single, and that would have gone #1 straight away. No Ice Spice required.
I think that if she's gonna release a single, one has to do it. So it had to have been this week then, I think, or I don't know how time works. Next week at the latest, because it has to be before Sabrina. You can't release a new single on the same night unless, even if you're doing the Sabrina feature, it pulls focus. If you do the Sabrina feature the week before, it brings focus to both of them. But if you do it on the same night, it pulls focus. And then if you do it the week after, it pulls focus. So it's like, I think there's a really slim window of time for her to operate, and it's going past us very, very quickly. So I'm kind of feeling like it's not going to happen. But
well, what about I am still at the restaurant when it comes to the rumors about a VMA medley performance. That seems to me something that could be real, but if it's a medley, that means introducing more than one song from the album, which I just don't think she would do when there's only 12 songs to go. But a surprise performance and launch of a lead single at the VMAs would make sense because Man's Best Friend would have been out for a week by then. It is still kind of metabolizing her a little bit, but Life of a Showgirl live at the VMAs, Sabrina featuring Taylor featuring Sabrina, I'm ready for that. But that doesn't give me, I don't know why, closing track, title track doesn't give me lead single. I don't know why. It's just not giving lead single to me.
Well, nothing's giving lead single because she won't give it to us. That's the gag. She won't give it to us. I'm only hyper fixated on the Sabrina feature as a lead single because the Sabrina album is right there, and I don't think Taylor would pull that much focus from Sabrina, especially. And I can say that with confidence now because obviously she's on the out. You know what I mean? Like she wouldn't fuck her like that. So that's kind of why I'm hyper focused on it. I don't. The feature with Sabrina has to be a single at some point. Maybe that'll be the single and music video that comes out when the album drops. The lead, we don't have that information. I don't know.
I would like to see a Sabrina single. I don't really get why she's not done anything since Manchild. Like, I've been ready, and also she's not really giving herself a lot of time to have another hit before Taylor comes. So, where is it? We need the damn second single.
Yeah. I keep forgetting. I remember and I forget. Man's Best Friend is coming. She's coming. 2 weeks.
I'm ready. I'm
seated. That's the last thing I get to do. Sort of like I really don't have the time to do it, and yet I will be there doing it anyway. It's like the day before I leave.
It's got to be done, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will be there, and I'm going to be smiling. I'm going to be smiling very broadly. So
crying,
that's something.
Screaming.
That's not work to mama. I'm excited for that. I can't wait. So. There you go. I'm happy.
Period. All right, let's get on to the next question. And this one is an unpopular opinion.
Hi, this is my unpopular opinion. Actually, it's not unpopular. I feel like everyone's dogging on this album cover, and I'll pile on. I just think it's so ugly. Like, she could have done so much better. And it's giving when in like 2015, girls would get in their bathtub, pour some milk, put a little bit of flowers, and like take this like terrible photo shoot. That's what it's giving. Taylor.
This is hateful and evil.
Shut up.
I keep seeing this take. Excuse me, I'm from Planet Swifty. So I was like, everyone's gagging, everyone loves it, everyone's saying, serve, more. And then I log in, it's horrible. I'm like, I don't, but you know what? I've thought about it a lot. I've thought about it and I've come to a conclusion. It's a lot of the album covers that we see today that people really like are really simple. A lot of them are just a picture and there's no text. Taylor isn't really about that life. She did it for Folk Levermore because that was the vibe. She really likes a millennial album cover. Think about it. Think about album covers from the 2010s and then think about Life of a Showgirl. Think about Reputation's cover. Think about 1989's cover. Think about Midnight's cover even. Like, she likes to do editing. She likes to do like what people call PixArt or Canva or whatever now. That's what she likes. She really
likes a new font for every era too. And I think for me, the issue is the font. I hate the font. I think even the placement of how she's put the words looks stupid on the album cover. If it was just the picture, you would all be gagging and I would be gagging too. That picture is amazing. I really am not getting girl in her bathtub with milk all around her. I'm getting Ophelia drowning and floating in the river. That's what I'm getting from that. It's shocking to me that no one else is getting that. Her face card is unbelievable. And you know what? I saw someone, and it was in a hateful way, but I don't care. Someone was saying she looks like Swiftologist on the cover. You were like, where is this going?
That I can't even talk about. That's demented. All white people look the same. All white people look the same. All white people look the same.
You go look at the side by side with the 1 million views on Twitter, and you come back to me after that, okay?
That has never crossed my mind, not even once.
Because she's a hater, guys.
Blue eyes, a particular nose. It looks just like the Swiftologist. All white people look the same. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? In any event, I don't get the hate on the cover.
It's a great picture. I don't get it.
I also don't get like the shattered glass thing. Like, I get that people don't like it. I feel like it's doing something very specific though. Like, it's the vibe, and I'm like, oh, I get it immediately.
A lot of people are saying it's bad, and I see people like outside of the Swiftie realm being like, it's bad. I agree. The shattered glass thing, the way that it's done, looks a little bit cheap. Like, I understand that like the cutout of it all looks weird, and I think it actually looks worse on the back cover. That's where it looks very like kind of chopped. But to me, the biggest crime is the font. That's the real miscarriage of justice is the font.
I have nothing negative to say about it. Like, I'm hearing the font is bad, whatever. It doesn't bother me that much. I'm hearing the glass effect is weird. I DGAF. I have nothing bad to say about it. I'm a Swiftie.
We've
I'm
got
a
a Swiftie
Swiftie.
in the chat.
I'm from Planet Swiftie, and I say thank you for my food. It also reminds me, the only other album cover in her discography that it reminds me of, I'm squeaking it out again, Reputation. So I cheer and I clapped.
But didn't you not like the Reputation cover? Am I
I
remembering
hated
that
it when I
right?
first saw it. I hated it when I first saw it. But then
Do you still
over
hate it
time, I
now?
got used to it. No. See, that's the thing. And this goes out to all you people who are hating the life of a Showgirl cover now. Let me inform
Wait your
you
turn.
of something. Let me inform you. Wait until you hear the album. You begin associating with the album. You'll forget all these haterations. You will say, I'm a Swiftie. And that's my message to the people.
The more I look at it, the more I'm kind of starting to see what people hate about it. But I really do think it would have been fixed without the text. I really do think you would be receiving it differently.
Tomato.
Well,
I like it.
That's what the evolution of a snake is for. It's for tomatoes and for flowers. All right, next.
Hey snakes. I think I'm gonna sound like a prude, but I'm just scared this is gonna be really sexy. Like, it was kind of like too much to see. I loved the visuals, but it was just too much. Like, to see so much of her body, I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm, seeing my mum naked. Not it's like, she's like Jesus to me.
Right.
And it's just like, I can't handle it. And I don't want her to do sexy songs about Travis. I'm sorry. I just don't want to hear about it. Like, they're cute together. I love the podcast, but I just don't want to hear about how he gets her off and things like that. So I don't know if you guys agree. Are you also thinking there's going to be some sexy songs? 'Cause I don't know, that's the vibe I'm getting. Oh no, I love it. I just think I need to get used to it. All right, bye.
I feel like I just got a call from a Love Island UK contestant.
No, that was a little too delicious. I feel like people were concerned about this on other albums as well. But I mean, think about the time she's been sexy, and like, it's never been too far, in my opinion, where I was uncomfortable. Like, think about Wildest Dreams, think about Dress,
It's always tasteful and also tame.
Yes, she has a very firm grip on like how comfortable she is with her sexuality and how she wants to express it, and she only expresses it in a way that is, I think, really, it's not too much, in my opinion. I know that the pictures, I don't know that they really gagged me that much. I remember somebody said this is the first time we've ever seen her belly button. I was like, is it? I actually
what
don't
gagged me
know.
more was when we saw the Bejeweled video, actually the teaser for Bejeweled, and she was wearing pretty much the exact same outfit and showing the exact same amount of skin. That really gagged me when I saw it. But this, I don't know, there's something about, and this is interesting, I've seen people write about this before, like, Taylor is not a real male gazy artist. Like, her visuals, her songs really are not intended to be for men, I suppose. Whereas with Sabrina Carpenter, like Man-Child, her visuals are kind of, they are intended to be sexy for the male gaze specifically. Taylor has never really come across as that kind of an artist to me. It's like, look at me looking hot for my girls and gays. There's just a different tone and vibe to it, especially because even her sexy songs are not about like, I'm so hot and sexy, look at my body, I'm slaying. It's different in a way. So I don't feel as though we're going to be getting map out songs. Like, I just don't think
I don't think so
that's
either.
a reality. I think it might be like, ooh, look at me on the Eras Tour stage. Don't you think that I'm so beautiful? Like, that to me is kind of what it's giving. And none of the song titles are giving like out.
Yeah, I'm not getting that vibe either. I definitely think that some of the songs might be sexy, because I think that, sexiness and like that kind of a vibe is so entwined with like the stereotypical showgirl imagery. So like, sexiness, yes, but like to a point. And she always does it to a point. That's just who she is. It's what she's comfortable with. And it's not like a commentary on how any other woman does it. It's not a commentary on what you're comfortable. It's only
not at
about
all.
her. So, that's not of concern to me, but I think you will be, when the album comes out, you'll be like, oh, this isn't even that bad. And you'll say, I'm happy.
The most overtly sexy song she's ever done is Dress. And even that is like kind of restrained. I think it's more artful and tasteful than it is sexual, which is how I think that Taylor engages with her sexuality in her art.
Yeah, that's how she likes to do it. She likes to put it through the lens of like, the landscape and like how it feels, as opposed to like getting particularly graphic with it. She doesn't do that. So, I mean, maybe there's a first time for everything. There's a first time for
Lola
everything.
Young,
but
One Thing, I'm getting wet through my panties. That's not her thing.
No, that's not going to happen. So don't worry about that. I don't know.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine.
And she never even said anything that explicit about Joe. You know what I mean? It was just like all these like diatribes about how hot she thought he was. And it's like, well,
he was a Barbie doll. He had
Yeah.
Barbie doll parts. So like she could only get so excited about him.
I'm sure we'll hear something similar about Travis and, whatever.
Well, here we go. Here's another unpopular opinion.
Hi, Zach. Hi, Madeline. Big fan of the show. My hot take on the life of a showgirl is that Taylor Swift should not be doing charity work on her own album, on her 12th studio album, and on her title track, and giving out favors to Sabrina Carpenter. She can do, when it was bad when she did it with Gracie Abrams, but that was on her album. It wasn't on Taylor's album. But I don't know why we're giving breadcrumbs to the Tay daughters. She should work with somebody at her own caliber. Alright, bye. Thank you.
I find it interesting that we think it's a favor.
Charity work?
It just makes sense. No?
For Sabrina Carpenter?
Sabrina Carpenter,
the second most famous woman in the world?
Is the closest thing that Taylor would have and like people that she'd want to collaborate with to a showgirl. So I think that was uncalled for. That's what I'm saying.
Sabrina also just had one of the biggest pop moments in recent memory, and Taylor's Torture Poets department was not a pop moment, and she's now trying to have a pop moment. So wouldn't it make sense for her to link up with the HBIC of doing like kind of silly, campy, fun pop? Doesn't that just make sense?
Yeah, I'm not seeing doing favors. I'm not seeing breadcrumbs. I'm not seeing charity work. Sabrina doesn't need it. Now, Gracie, when she
Gracie is a different story. That's a different story.
When she was putting out The Secret of Us,
it was charity
before
work.
she had her big moment,
100%
before she had I Love You, I'm Sorry, before she had That's So True, she wasn't blowing up yet. That was an instance where Taylor said, and it's funny how not to be a hater, but like when other female artists are like linking up, it's like, oh, girls supporting girls. When Taylor does it, it's like annoying charity work. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on. I mean, are we doing what are we doing?
Well,
like, what are we
she
talking
can't
about?
win because first it's she doesn't ever have female features. She relegates them to the background, and then now it's charity work to do it. So like, can we get the food before we start sending it back?
Even if it came and it was lukewarm, I wouldn't send it back. I'd say, you know what? I'm happy with what I got. I don't think it will be lukewarm. I don't think it will be lukewarm. I'm hesitant. I will admit that because her features past is really spotty. They're not. I mean, think about Florence and the Machine feature. Even if you like Florida, you have to admit it's not one of the best tracks on Torture Poets. Think about Snow on the Beach. They hated it so much they had to rework it and put more Alana on it. The most successful one is Nothing New with Phoebe Bridgers, in my opinion. So
she has a chance. I mean, what I will give you is that her track record of features with women generally aren't very good. So we can be a little skeptical, but I think that it's not as beneficial to Taylor as it is to Sabrina, but it's definitely not charity work. She's not stooping low. This isn't the nonsense feather girl. This is espresso. This is please, please, please. This is taste. I mean, I think that it can only be fun.
I'd like to see it too.
But also with features, it's like every time I get my hopes up, and that's my own problem. Like I just expect too much from these things. And the problem with telling people there's a feature coming is then we have to wait 50 days with no information. So you build up ideas of what it's going to be, then it ends up not being that.
Mm-hmm. So,
And for the record, Snow on the Beach featuring more Lana Del Rey clears. It's so good.
It's on all my Christmas playlists. I don't listen to it in ordinary time, you might say, but Christmas time comes, it gets played. You better believe it. I love the way it sounds. I love the mix.
I'm streaming. Thank you, Lana. All right. Well, very unpopular. Let's have another one.
High stakes. Regarding the life of a showgirl, I think that this is going to be Taylor Swift's sexiest album yet. She's never had a real man to, D her down real good. I think Travis does that for her. And, a girl's first good D can really change your life. So just get ready for a side of Taylor you've never seen before. Bye.
I think there's something to that. I'm definitely not going to deny it. When you've only been dating, probably the closest she's come to not dating like an artsy kind of a guy would be Calvin Harris. even then,
I know that wasn't, she wasn't really getting anything out of that.
No, I think there's something else going on, and I agree with the caller. It can really radicalize you in a way that you didn't know was possible. So yeah, I think it's going to be a little sexy. I think it's going to be a little sexy, and I look forward to it because Tortured Poets was a lot of things.
Sexy, not one of them.
Not one of them, and she wasn't really into describe like she wasn't saying he's so hot and beautiful.
Well, because she knew she knew that it wasn't true, and she knew that it was a delusion and a dream that she made up. Nobody is out here. Well, actually, no, there are people out here saying Maddie Healy, sexiest man alive, and to them, I say, you need to get flea remover.
Yeah, so I look forward to this album for the sexiness. I don't think it's going to be the whole thing. I don't think it's going to be like a major theme or anything, but I think there's going to be a couple of mementos, and I
think it's going to be more flirty than sexy.
Describe the difference to me.
Like a wink rather than like a roar.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not?
The hell
Why the hell not?
All right, next. Who's up?
Okay, what the actual is the song Wood going to sound like? Because I can't stop thinking about it. What does that mean? I'm scared. The only thing I think of when I hear wood is very crass, but I don't know what else it could be about because it's not woods. It's just wood. Please help me understand. What do you think?
Madeline, why don't you share your Pinocchio tea?
So this isn't necessarily my theory, but I think it's the most interesting one I've seen. So somebody pointed out that there was a little Pinocchio on one of the shelves behind them during the podcast. And that felt really like, why would he just have a Pinocchio already there? Unless it was some kind of an Easter egg or some kind of a signal for what's going to be to come. Pinocchio's made out of wood. I was thinking that maybe it was going to be a song about like feeling like a puppet as a showgirl, feeling controlled, or it could be about somebody who is, you know, a relationship or a man who's like just like wooden and completely soulless, and he's not giving you anything, not in a sexual way, but like in an emotional way. He's just completely vacant. Could be about that. So there's a lot of different ways to think about it. Like if you think about what wood literally is, and like wood in like literature and the way that it's been used like that, I understand immediately going to like morning wood or something like that, but it wouldn't be that. I think it's going to be something complex. That's an exciting song to me. I love when a song title is like, what the is that? Because nobody's going to be right. So I can't wait.
This is the one that truly gives me pause. Like when I look at the track list and I'm trying to like get in touch with my spidey senses, do my little psychic predictions, I get a resounding blank white room in my mind's eye when I think of this one. I have no idea what it's going to be. It reminds me of when I saw Mastermind on the Midnights, and that was the first song we had. I was like, okay, I give up. Like I actually don't know what this is going to be, but I think it might actually be the most opaque Taylor Swift track title of all time. Like I just cannot get a read on what it's going to be. And like, yeah, all the things are interesting, but like wood alone, just with no context, it's not capitalized. There's no exclamation point. Like it's giving me nothing. And I'm kind of scared for it. But wasn't that the one that Travis kind of like perked up around when she said it?
It was canceled. That was the one that he really liked.
That's Karma, the remix to me. And I'm happy for it.
Yeah, I'm ready for that one. That one, although I do think canceled kind of gives a little bit, this is why we can't have nice things too. Like it's one of those kinds of genre of songs. Like I can already tell. And a lot of people don't like those kinds of songs. A lot of these folklore people, you know what I mean? They're boycotting in the streets already. Have you been seeing this? The boycotting in the streets for the fact that it's a pop album, but by Max Martin and Shellback.
This is literally like an ancient war that we've already had. We did this before. We did this in 2012, and it's time to pack it up. Like if you only want to listen to folklore and Evermore for the rest of your life, God bless, but leave me out of it.
Yeah, I don't want any part in it. I don't want
any part in it. It's none of my business.
It's none of my freaking business.
Some of us like to dance and shake our
alone. I want to have
fun. And at this point, like at least half of Taylor Swift's discography is like upbeat pop music. So I don't get the acting different and acting surprised about this turn.
I'm so scared. I've seen all these takes. I'm so scared for the new album because I really like the lyricism on Tortured Poets, and that's just going to be like,
these people, they don't trust her.
We already did this.
We already did this. But Madeline, they're new. They don't know. They haven't been here before.
They haven't read the scrolls. Let me tell you, I wouldn't say that I was one of those people who was like terrified for 1989, but I was like, I was kind of on the fence. I was like, I don't really know how I feel about a totally pop album. And then, of course, it came out, and I was gagged to hell and back. I mean, that was a great moment in time. It was so much better than we could have ever fathomed. So
I was ready for Pop Taylor from the moment I heard we are never ever getting back together. It was just programmed into my DNA to accept that from her. So when I hear pop album, I only think of cheer, happy, clapping, exciting. I can't wait to get drunk and listen to this.
These are all the
Can't wait to
same
make my
people who
friends
were
listen to
cheering
it.
for 1989 TV. What happened to that? I thought you liked 1989 TV.
Yeah, you said you liked style TV.
Is it over now?
Huh?
It's the greatest song ever made. What happened to those people? Where are they? Because they're not piping up at this time. We need them. And these are the same people probably who are like Reputation, greatest album ever made. Well, open the textbook.
She's literally bringing us back. We've got the same photographer on board. We've got the same producers on board. Why don't you shut up and eat your food? And they're getting mad. Again, they're getting mad about the food before it's even been presented to them.
Yeah. I think that we should give her a chance, because I think that this album is really exactly what a lot of people were asking for, and we're getting exactly what we asked for. So I think everybody should pipe down. She can't just write torture poets over and over again. I'm sorry, that's not an interesting career. I like her to do things like this. We had it, we've done it, and if you like it that much, it's still there, girls. And
Tortured Poets, the red herring. Like, how clear does it need to be? It was an album made of necessity, made of specific circumstance, of a specific period of time. She's pivoting, and she's always pivoted. I think she just hasn't done a hard pivot in a while. So the girls that joined when the TV started happening are not used to a pivot.
Well, get ready, girls. Your neck's about to break.
Get ready. Put your dancing shoes on and shut up.
I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready for a pop album. This is what I've been. This has been my song. So I'm ready to hear it. And
this was the very first page, not where the storyline ends. Okay.
Yep. My thoughts will echo your name till I see you again. That's what I said to Reputation. That's what I said to 1989. So you tell me. You tell me.
Up next, another question.
Hey Snakes, love the pod. It's my first time calling in. I've recently just subscribed to Patreon after being a long-time YouTube subscriber. My question or thought about Showgirl is that, do you think this is kind of the end of the road with the her, Jack and Aaron trio? Do you think she's realised after all of the criticism that branching out is the next thing and the best thing for her to do? And do you think that's kind of created any issues with her, Aaron and Jack, or do you think that's like their job and they realised that she's going to work with new people and different people? Just want to know your thoughts. Thanks.
Jack's kind of out of work.
Yeah. Well, I think he did a lot on Man's Best Friend. I think he's probably on that quite a bit.
And the cursed Lana album.
Which is interesting, considering that Sabrina and Taylor are coming together and it's still Max Martin and Showback. But no, I don't think Aaron, especially not Aaron. Especially not Aaron.
Well, he can't do this. Like, that's just not in his wheelhouse.
No,
he would get that, I presume.
He knows. And I think, like, Taylor, I think it's also interesting to say branching out when we're talking about Max Martin and Shellback. It's not really branching
we've been there.
out. We've been there. We've been there. And I think that this is exactly what we wanted. Everybody's been saying, let's hear Max Martin and Shellback. What does Taylor have to do with them in the year 2025? We want it. I think that this is best case scenario in terms of quote unquote branching out. Working with a whole brand new producer for a whole new album would gag me to hell and back. I think that would be too much. I would be struck silent. I think that she's gotten into a creature of habit. I'm not saying she's never going to work with a whole brand new producer for a new album, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that. So there's that point. Jack and Aaron, not mad. I don't think it's created beef or anything. And last but not least, I cheer. I cheer. You guys know I love Aaron. Aaron is one of my favorite writers that she works with specifically. So I love him, and I love when they work together. But I think time and place.
We were ready. We said we love Tortured Poets, but we're also ready to move on from this collaborative relationship. I think what's interesting, I recorded a video about this the other day. There's like such a difference between how Taylor works with Max Martin and how Taylor works with Jack Antonoff. The way she works with Jack is a very relational producer. He'll like sit with you and get the story of what you want to say. And then he builds the song around what you want to say and facilitating you saying it in whatever way is best for you. And Taylor's approach with that usually is to be very wordy. The way that Max Martin produces is not about the story at all. The first and foremost priority is the song. He's doing the melodic math to create a bulletproof hook. that is the first and most important thing, and everything else is secondary. Vocal performance, lyricism, soundscaping, that all serves the purpose of creating a bulletproof song. And I think that Taylor really had to like train herself how to work with that and how to understand how to make a pop song that's kind of left of center. You have to know how to make a bog standard perfect pop song. And I think she did that with Max, took that knowledge, went away, made songs like Getaway Car, Cruel Summer that are like great pop hits, but not necessarily like following that melodic math that Max Martin is so famous for. And now she's coming back to it with a lot more, I guess, experience in channeling her particular kind of songwriting into pop songwriting. Because a song like Cruel Summer, that's one of her biggest hits ever. And it is not a Max Martin produced number. That is a Jack Antonoff coded memento. But when you think of her collaborations with Jack from a pop perspective, Cruel Summer kind of stands alone in the way that it is a perfect pop song. Like it's not too wordy. It's not too, it doesn't take too long to get to the point. The chorus hits you within the first 30, 40 seconds. There is a structure and a formula being followed there. And I think that Taylor just wanted to return to that. And to me, this is really giving less focused on story, more focused on execution and like bulletproof pop. And who else is in a position to help Taylor do bulletproof pop other than Max Martin in 2025? Like there isn't a super producer that can accomplish that.
I think she has like a very clear vision of what she wants to make, as opposed to something like Tortured Poets, where there is no clear vision of what's being made.
She just needed to make something.
Right. This is something that's about a vision, a vibe, and an execution of an idea, as opposed to let's vomit out a bunch of stuff and like see what we, and which is I think how she kind of writes with Jack and Aaron. Think about Folklore, think about Evermore. Let's just like let's just write. With Max Martin and Shellback, I mean, even listening to the 1989 demo tapes, like it's not let's vomit it out. It's this is what I have, let's perfect it. You know what I mean? So,
and I think Jack and Aaron are there to facilitate Taylor's whimsy and her imagination. They're like, how do you want this to be? And Taylor's like, you know what? I really want it to sound like XYZ. Whereas when Max is coming to the table with Taylor, he'll say, okay, I think that this part of the idea is good and we can make a really intense like pre-chorus or hook about it. Can you now write around this structure that I've given you? It actually, I think, is easier to create like that when you have a structure you have to follow. And I always remember the story that Lorde told of when her and Jack sent green light to Max Martin. And he was like, there's a really great pop song in here somewhere, but it's wrong. Like this is incorrect pop songwriting. It takes too long to get to the point. The chorus comes in too late, blah, 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 all these things. So that is probably, I think, how Taylor approaches writing with Max. She's like, this is what I'm thinking. And he goes, okay, how do we like bludgeon that into being a hit? And then she goes, I'll take the challenge.
Yeah, I definitely think that's kind of the vibe we're going for. And I'm saying it's been too long. I'm saying let's get back in the room and create something that isn't brand new. Like, no, she's not branching out into uncharted waters, but like is going to be something new for the last, Jesus, what, 8-7 years of her career? That's a long time. I'm ready.
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I'm ready.
And I think also like with Jack too, it's interesting that their producers have like moments in the public eye of like being really popular. Like Dan Nigro and Ryan Tedder right now, I'd say are kind of ascending, and Jack Antonoff is descending. Not in a way where he's like flopping or falling off, but like we've been very saturated with Jack Antonoff pop girl content, just the same way we were with Max Martin for a while. Max Martin had a bit of a lull. He hasn't created anything that was like super, super, super successful, especially not with a pop girl for many years on end. Notably not involved. I think actually, was he involved with 143? I think he was on maybe like one song, perhaps. What do you think? That was more Dr. Luke.
I think he was on the album, but I can't remember how much. I remember I read his name and I like gagged. I think it might have been on Kitty, Kitty, Wanna Come? Or it was on...
Yeah, no, it was on the gorgeous All My Ladies Look, that terrible song. But he wasn't a producer, he was a writer. Isn't that weird?
That
is weird. He didn't produce it.
He said, this is radioactive.
Yeah. He said, this has absolutely nothing to do with me. The last thing he did that was super popular was Ariana's Eternal Sunshine, like for a pop girl. Yes, and We Can't Be Friends, all of that. And you know what? I'm saying he did a great job.
Yeah. I think that was a good pop album, but it wasn't as if it was like taking over the world. This is Max Martin's comeback to being like the biggest, pop producer in the world. It was just kind of like,
He did
Max
that
Martin
whole
did this.
album with Conan Gray that yielded absolutely no hits. And you know what? That should really be a sign to all the people that are saying, oh, we just need Conan to come up. If Max Martin can't get you a number one, it's over.
You know, there's actually a song on the new album that has Elvira on it. And it surprised me. And it was one of the ones
on the
that
Conan
I actually
Gray
thought.
album?
Yeah, on Wishbone. Elvira is on one of the tracks. And I was like,
right.
And you know what? I can tell. Because this is one of the ones that is actually pretty passable. So I thought that was interesting. I thought that was really interesting.
It is interesting. I mean, his most recent projects have been New Woman for Lisa Alter Ego. Okay. And The Weeknd's Hurry Up Tomorrow. A couple of songs on that. And then Coldplay, which we're just going to pretend that we didn't see that.
It'll be interesting. And I'm there to clap and cheer. I'm not actually worried about it. No,
it's going to be great.
He could have never made a pop hit for the last 20 years, and I would say it's going to be the greatest album ever made. Because I know.
Him and Taylor,
I'm a true believer.
Who are we to fight the alchemy? Who are we to fight the alchemy? Not us.
Not us. We would never raise our sword to this alchemy. Never.
All right, here we go. Another question about the alchemy of this album.
Okay, so if Taylor is saying that she has 12 front to back bangers, I interpret that as she has a Thriller, a Rumors, a Jagged Little Pill, and Adele 21. Like, I feel like she's setting expectations really, really high. And so my first question is there some level of delusion going on? And number two, if it is indeed front to back bangers, why would she not release a single? Are we beyond the single cycle in album consumption these days?
Here's my thought on the single. So the thing about a single is if she puts out a single and then there's like 3 or 4 weeks to go for the album, she is giving the world an opportunity to make an assessment about the album before it comes out. And I think that her favorite thing is to let everyone experience the album instantly at the first time that it exists, to avoid people like misconstruing it, taking it out of context. Like, for example, if the lead single wasn't a hit and didn't do well, that really would color how the album would be received. If you don't put anything out, there's nothing to like get either too excited or too negative about. So I think that kind of gives her the opportunity to have plausible deniability, to gag people. I think that's why she doesn't like to do singles anymore.
I really think Me traumatized her.
And it should.
And it should
It
have.
should.
And it should have. They were actually just talking about it on Popcast. They had a special guest. I can't remember his name, but it was like, that is one of the worst songs I've ever heard in the history of my life. It's like, I love Taylor, but that was atrocious. And I was like, and they're still talking about it to this day. They're still talking about how horrible it was to this day. It traumatized her.
And it tanked Lover. It did. It tanked Lover. And because if you really think about it, the album is not that bad. Like, there is so much other good stuff on the album, but because she preempted it with 2 of the worst songs she's ever created, it completely ruined the hype that was building for that album. Like, she ruined it before it had even started, and she did it months before it came out.
Well, I've been seeing a lot of chatter from a lot of the, musically minded people out there who are talking about, like, first singles, do they help or do they hurt? It kind of depends. And I think it's Russian roulette, because on Lover, on any album, you can choose the wrong first single and it can be kind of disastrous. If you choose the perfect one, it's great and it's amazing. It gets everybody hyped. But if you choose the wrong one, it can be a disaster. And Taylor previously had been pretty successful with choosing her first lead, even if it wasn't the number one smash like mine for Speak Now. But I think it did say something about Speak Now, and it wasn't bad.
Choice.
And it wasn't a tanker. You know what I mean? So I really think Me really f***ed her up. And I do think about like Justin Bieber surprise dropping Swag and like all these other things that have happened, like with music, with people just putting music out and saying my album's coming out in, 4 weeks and there's not going to be a lead single. People are doing that all the time now. And I don't know. I don't need a lead single. Like, that's the thing. I will live if I don't have a lead single, and I'll be happier, I think. So
we'll be able to cook in ways that we love to cook. With Torture Poets, we were absolutely having a ball on this, making up
That
and
was
becoming
crazy.
more and more deranged the days that went on. When we were getting
That
to
was
those
crazy.
Dover playlists, we were locked into a version of the album that was so far removed from
It
what it
didn't even
actually
exist.
was.
It didn't even exist.
And I loved that.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
fun.
getting gagged. Getting
Yeah.
gagged by her is one of my favorite experiences. So like to remove any expectations whatsoever is actually what makes it fun and exciting. So I understand the position of not doing a lead single. That being said, would I welcome it if it appeared? Absolutely. I would say, come in, sit down, have a cup of tea. But you're right, Madeline. Like the choice of a lead single it can be so radioactive to an album rollout. I was just thinking like, so Reputation was half Jack Antonoff pop and half Max Martin pop. It was a really interesting choice for her to pick Look What You Made Me Do as the lead single, because that song is a little bit repulsive. Like by nature, it's a song that is not, like if she put out Don't Blame Me, if she put out Delicate, if she put out even, I don't know, Ready for It, maybe. Those songs are like kind of undeniable earworms. Like they sound good to your ear when you hear them. So it would be like, oh, this is another great Taylor Swift pop song. Yay. Look What You Made Me Do was such an intentional, like, I want to put people off and I want people to think that I'm doing something really weird and different. Jack was like, I can't believe she let this be the lead single. It's so bizarre the way that it's constructed, but it served a purpose. However, it served a purpose, but did it kind of tank Reputation's commercial success of the singles for the rest of the album cycle? Yes, it did. It's easy to forget in hindsight now that we have the Eras Tour and Reputation is like the serve Mama God. Ready for It as a single didn't do that well. Endgame flopped. Delicate ended up being the most like chart steady single, and it didn't even crack the top 10. So, it can really make or break an album.
It can. And I'm saying, I don't know why she has to put out a single before the album to have a number one. I don't think that that's true. I
She'll
think
get it.
She'll get it. Life of a Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter will go number one. I soothsay it. I prognosticate it. I said the same thing. This is a crazy reference, but I said the same thing about Morgan Wallen and Tate McRae. I said that simply will go number one, and I was right. I couldn't tell you how that song goes. It went number one.
Going number one isn't an issue for Taylor. I think that going number one multiple times on an album would definitely be more feasible for her if she staggered the singles. That's true. But at this point, it's like, does it all need to go number one? There is something to be said about 1989 having number one after number one after number one. That was kind of the serve. But is that even realistic anymore? Like, who is getting 4 number one singles from any album? Anyone? Sabrina couldn't even do it. Sabrina got what? 1 number one from the biggest album of the year?
Yeah, I think it was Please, 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 right? I don't think Taste
it wasn't even Espresso. No, neither of them did. And and that was a staggered single release. I think Please, Please, Please dethroned Espresso and then surpassed it somehow.
It's a great song. It's a great song.
Oh, it's a great song. Espresso
cheer.
should have gone number one. It continues to baffle me that it
what
didn't.
Blocked it again? Was it?
That's a great question.
A bar song?
Was it Beautiful Things? Yeah. Oh, it was a bar song.
Was
it?
it?
A bar song.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
There was one of those huge songs that year, which is,
it didn't
fine.
even go number 2. It went number 3. Are you crazy? Are these people crazy?
It was a song in the summer. And now what are we stuck with?
Now what are we stuck with?
Baby,
you know what? I'm starting
to,
because it's radio, and radio at this point is like not an accurate indicator of what people are actually choosing to listen to anymore. Taste went number 2. Taste went higher than Espresso.
It's a great song.
Oh, it is.
Heard you back together.
And
that's true.
Shall we do one more? Maybe we shall.
Hey snakes, or should I say showgirls. My name is Emily. I'm a new Patreon member, and I've been watching Zach's videos for about a year now, and I love the chemistry that you and Madeline have. I also love your critiques and how much research you put into your videos. It's really appreciated. If you guys decide to tour again, I would love to see you in Philly. Anyway, I know we are all excited for this new era, and I'm a little worried about some songs just being grocery store music. As much as I love Max Martin, the overconsumption of songs like 22 and We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together are songs I love, but I still skip. Like, I love them for what they are, but I got sick of them really quickly.
Bye.
I'm hoping they mature a little in that regard. Are you guys thinking the same, or do you think this is going to be a complete no-skip album?
Shut up.
Thank you.
I think.
Be quiet, Tiffany.
But you wouldn't say that about any of the songs on 1989, though. You wouldn't say grocery store music about any of the songs on 1989.
I'm not saying it about We Are Never or 22. Grocery store music to me is message in a bottle. That's grocery store music. That's music that you tune out and you don't listen to it and think that's a great pop song. I've been on a We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together obsession kick lately. It is one of the best pop songs of the 2010s. It is undeniably constructed. It is so perfectly tailored, but also so perfectly a pop song. Like that song never gets old to me. I don't really like. I don't like it on the EOAS tour because I don't like the Taylor's version of it. That is really my only issue with it. Otherwise, I think it is one of her best hits. 22 as well. One of the most fun songs in her discography. That last chorus and bridge, like it's so good. I don't classify those songs as background music, even though I've heard them so many times. I Know You Were Trouble. I'm more likely to say that one is grocery pop than the rest of those.
I think it's more a matter of like overplayed, I guess you could say. Like We Are Never Ever. I've heard We Are Never Ever all up and down the grocery store. I've heard it in the bookstore, the grocery store, you know, it's one of those kinds of songs.
She's worldwide.
She's weddings, graduations, funerals. I think there is something to be said about overconsumption, and when like something is just like everywhere, and it's like it doesn't get to be
goal.
like
that's the
right.
goal.
But the thing, I think what she was trying to say was like, it's not, it loses a little bit of its special essence when it becomes something different. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that happened to Shake It Off for sure, but it's still Shake It Off to me. Like I'm still able, even when that happens to her songs, I'm still able to be like, what a great pop song. And I'm still able to get into it, you know, every now and again. I'd say the grocery store music, I'm trying to think of like, and to me, Antihero is kind of like grocery store music. Like that's kind of the one where I'm like, okay, we've been hearing this.
To me, that's one of her like most forgettable hits, and it's surprising to me it was so successful. I mean, not to on it at all. I like Antihero. I could never hear it again, and I wouldn't know a thing. That's kind of the thing about it,
it's like all the other ones, all the other grocery store pop songs, bar A Message in a Bottle, have something unique about them that makes them different from the other pop songs. Like We Are Never is so different to Shake It Off. Like they have completely different personalities. They share a DNA, but like they are from different periods of time. Antihero could have been made at any point on any of her pop albums, and I would have been like, yeah, sure.
Right. So, I mean, if the question is like, do you think there's going to be like trite, overplayed pop music on Life of a Showgirl?
Well, yes.
I don't.
It won't start out that way because they never start out like that. It's when they get overplayed that they become trite, I suppose, and they don't have the chance to become trite if they don't get overplayed, which means that they're not hits, so they just flopped.
It's a double-edged sword. You either have the ordinary, We
won't have that. That's what I know. To me, real grocery store music is like that. It's like the Benson Boone, all of this nonsense. Like Sabrina, you could argue Sabrina Carpenter is grocery store pop. I'm hearing espresso everywhere, and every time I hear it, I say, turn it up.
I mean, all it really means is that it's mass appeal, and isn't that just all pop music is, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, yeah, there's going to be mass appeal pop music on it, but like 1989 was mass appeal pop music, and I wouldn't consider pretty much, maybe How You Get the Girl. I'll give you How You Get the Girl, grocery store, inoffensive.
But I never hear that at the
really
grocery store, to be fair to it.
Completely, it could fall off the album and the album would be the same. That kind of a vibe, I guess you could say.
Maybe Bad Blood. Maybe at a push Bad Blood.
Yeah, maybe.
Without Kendrick.
I'm saying, I think judging Max Martin and Taylor's collaborations by We Are Never Ever in 22, it's like they've done so many things together that it's like, I mean, the universe has expanded, and this has been 8 years in the making. So they're just doing different things now. They're all
the pop
up.
Taylor that was making We Are Never is not the girl that we're meeting making this record. She has a lot more life experience. She's a lot more songwriting experience. Like there's going to be evolutions and developments. Also, you know what I'll say? No grocery store pop on Reputation.
No, it's too esoteric. They don't get it. They won't even play Endgame. They're scared.
Don't Blame Me is the closest thing to grocery store pop to me, but there is none. Lover, the man is grocery store pop. I'm sorry, it is. You need to calm down.
Even like the production elements. It just sounds like you hear in the grocery store.
I'm sure that Taylor's also traumatized by the fact that that's the time she chose to branch out and work with a completely different producer to try and make her a hit. What happened the last time she strayed away from God in order to make herself a hit? She got You Need to Calm Down, Me, Only the Young, and The Man. Only one of those songs is allowed to be in this world.
Yeah, and we ain't heard from Joel Little since. And you know what? you said this a while ago, and I've been cooking on it. He did kind of bungle The Man. Like The Man production
could have been so different. The Ears Tour production of it was so much better. He made it like bleep bloop.
He bleep blooped it. Do 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 do.
Like the chorus should go way harder than it does.
Yeah. Yeah, he bungled it. I'm saying it. I'm saying Joel Little is to blame. He poisoned our crops. He destroyed the singles on Lover, and that's all there is to it.
You know what else is? If we're just doing the experiment of what else is grocery store pop, I'll say it. I can do it with The Broken Heart as grocery store pop.
Interesting. Yeah, I think so too. I think if it wasn't the clean version, especially, is so I can't even listen to it.
Fortnite is grocery store pop. Thank you for a fortnight, and I like to hear that in the grocery store.
And
to be fair,
a fortnight there we were together.
Karma is kind of grocery store pop, I guess, but I love Karma. I'm a Karma.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: saying grocery store pop isn't necessarily a bad thing.
But it's interesting because like, style is super popular, but I would never call her grocery store pop. No way.
No, and that's another one. It's like certain songs transcend, even though they have mass appeal, even though they are really like engineered to be a hit, even though they have all the pieces of all the parts. They go to another place of geniosity, and not just anybody could do this. That it could never be played in the grocery. They don't understand it. They can't conceptualize it.
They play it in the grocery
minds.
store, and what the people hear is elevator music. It's like when dogs hear a whistle that only they can hear. Like that's for us. You don't get it.
Right.
And what do you think are the songs that are not her big hits that are not grocery store pop? I'm saying Cruel Summer, and I'm saying what else?
Blank Space is not grocery store
Blank
pop
Space,
to me. They don't get it.
She never could be.
They don't get it.
Even what about like Fearless? Like You Belong With Me, Love Story. Those are pop
You Belong
songs.
With Me. You Belong With Me is a grocery store song, and I cheer every time.
And we love that about her.
That's why she's the hit. That's why she's the girl. That's why she's the hit. That's why she's the girl. Love Story, of course. That is, I think, if you were to ask me, what is the most mass appealing song that Taylor has ever made? It's Love Story. Weddings, graduations, funerals. That's not hyperbole.
I think even if you don't speak English, you understand exactly what's happening on Love Story. Even if you are living in a remote village in a yurt in Mongolia, you know exactly what's going on when you hear Love Story, and you've heard it before.
Right. And it's lived a full life. You know, the thing about Love Story is that it does maintain its like specialness from being so nostalgic, even though everybody in the English speaking world and beyond knows that song. And I smile.
And I'm going to say she's never done a song quite like Love Story.
No.
And she hasn't tried to either.
It stands alone. And I say thank God every day.
She knows what she had.
Thank you, God. First, now that was a perfectly executed first single. Let's open the case. That is, I think, one of her best single choices of all time. That's not just something
polarizing, not
perfectly represents the album and what it was going to be. Gorgeous, just a gorgeous piece of writing. I mean, what can we say?
Would you rank that as the most perfect lead single?
Let's see. So the lead singles were Tim McGraw, Love Story, Mine, and then We Are Never Ever, Shake It Off, Look What You Made Me Do. That's obviously at the bottom of the list. I mean, I love it for what it is, but in terms of
polarizing.
And then Cardigan and Willow, you can't even count those, and then Antihero. Yeah, I'm saying Love Story. Love Story or Tim McGraw. I said what I said.
They really perfectly encapsulated the moment. I mean, if we're going for pop, I would go for Shake It Off. That set the tone. It did. It set the tone. It let us know what we were in for. And also pretty much universally liked when it came out. We Are Never had a bit of pushback because that was the first time she ever did a pop song. And Look What You Made Me Do obviously was everybody hated it. Can we just say that? Everybody hated it. They were wrong. They were completely wrong, and they would come to love it, but they hated Look What You Made Me Do.
They didn't get it. The music video came out and the girls started realizing. They started realizing things.
But the critics didn't. They were clowning on her for days. That's interesting.
That's interesting. Now it's one of the most iconic pop comebacks of all time. You see how that works?
Now she's the actress starring in Your Bad Dreams.
Well-behaved women rarely make history.
All I think about when I hear that is the edit of Snooki in handcuffs at the beach.
And it's true.
It's true. Well-behaved women rarely make history.
And it's true. And it's true for Life of a Showgirl. Will there be grocery store pop on Life of a Showgirl? That is for the people to decide. I would gobble it up either way.
I hope so, because that means that it's a hit and we won.
And we won.
I like to win.
We deserve a world stop hit from Taylor Swift. Fortnite wasn't that girl.
No,
I know everybody
she wanted
thinks
to
that
be
she
so
was,
bad.
She was never going to be that girl. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart was never going to be that girl.
Fortnite continues to befuddle me, but like at that point, when you try and think of what should it have been instead, it's like, well, guilty as sin, actually. That's what it should have been.
That would have gone #1 across all countries.
Mm-hmm. That would have been Grammy.
World.
That actually would have won Album of the Year at the Grammy.
I think
at the
so
Grammy.
Too.
The Grammy.
At the Grammy.
At the Grammy. It would have won
Grammy.
the one and only award. Period.
Period.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, you can get a paywalled private episode of Tavis Unpopular Opinions. They will shock you. They will shock and awe you.
They will shock you.
And we will see you soon. Girls, there's a lot of Showgirl content coming up, so stay tuned.